Okay, so I did not want to make this video at all. It is 11 o'clock at night and I'm ready to, hit the bed. I wanted to avoid this conversation at all costs. Just because I hate to see these talks just come and go every time. For how toxic the conversations get, how confusing like the talks can also get, I find, in terms of like the differences between like remixing, copywriting, and just so much stuff, man. And just how I wanted to say like irresponsible sometimes, like the conversation can get out of hand when you leave it to the comment sections a lot of times. Just because it's people like forming their own opinion, right? They're expressing how they feel. The whole situation with Kijan Boone and the Pack It Up remix and him, just like essentially a lot happened over the weekend within CHH has been quite a lot to deal with, I want to say. Really so much so to the point I really didn't want to deal with it because I'm working on other video ideas on the side, and like I really didn't want to go out of my way to make this video. Especially because, I mean, with my own run-in, especially like this past fall, I mean, we had the whole conversation of originality with, Sai the Legend, or he switched his name to, I think it goes by Yoshi or Yohai. Or if you're watching this side, please, like, if you could let me know how to pronounce like your new name. I'm not too good with name changes, I'm not gonna lie. But like seeing that, right, and then jumping over into like the next sequence arc or like episode of this, we have the whole Kayla Sauce and copied CHH playlist situation, in which we saw how she put together a playlist of like hundreds songs by CHH artists. And I really tried to take that situation and I took it as an opportunity to like capitalize on it and steer an unhealthy conversation into more of a positive one, with just trying to get people to understand and differentiate better the difference between like copyright, sampling, inspiration, remixes, just that whole pile of like confusion, just trying my best to like manage that conversation, right? So then I made like, a video about that. I want to say that was like my second video. And then my third video was like talking about how Caleb Gordon came out clean himself and with just the whole copyright strike situation. And he made a whole song about it, right? I think I made a video about that. And I think for him, it was a great outcome for sure. And so like in my mind, I'm thinking like we're gonna sail into the sea peacefully away from these talks and conversations, never to be seen again. But lo and behold, guys, we are back. It's like we're back in the same starting spot. To catch you guys up, if you guys didn't know, over the weekend, Kijan Boone, who's an artist that's been doing great for himself, mind you. I think I picked him up and like discovered him like last year. You guys should check out his music for sure. Pretty much dropped a song off of a remix of Ian's Pack It Up. Ian, for those of you guys that didn't know, he's like an artist like in the mainstream space that like randomly blew up last year, but he dropped a song like 2 weeks ago called Pack It Up, and then 2 weeks later, Keon remixes it. And I guess in the issue with that, it's that Keon captioned it that it was produced by him. Basically, it sparked a whole backlash because an artist by the name of Judo Sammy, Judo Sammy's been an artist that's been around as well. Solid artist as well if you want to check him out. Judo Sammy calls Keon out. I don't know if like, I'm pretty sure he commented under Keon's post because I can't find it, but I remember like, I'm trying to backtrack the timeline of like what I was experiencing over the weekend.
I've been in the CHH space for some time now, and I feel like accountability just doesn't exist when it comes to this specific topic that I'm about to talk about. It's too many CHH artists getting comfortable with literally stealing ideas, stealing melodies, stealing cadences, stealing beats from secular artists, making a little remix to it or whatever. And sometimes they won't even call it a remix. Sometimes they'll just claim it as their own song and end up dropping it and claiming it as their own and saying, oh, it's glory to God. Like, bro, what? That is blasphemous, bro. That's literally blasphemous. Like, not only are you stealing from another artist, then you are lying to the audience, making them believe that what you did was original, when you and I both know that's not what happened. I'm just so tired of seeing it because it's literally nothing being done. It just continues to be celebrated. The audience is silent about it. Artists are silent about it. And it's like, bro, who is gonna hold each other accountable for this? Because there's actual record labels out there who are watching this, and you will get hit with a cease and desist if you continue going down this route, bro. It's the music industry. This is what happens. Bro, if you truly feel like you're losing creativity, then just go to God. He is the source to find creativity. Go in the secret place. You can find creativity with him. Don't fall back and steal from a secular artist, bro, because you're gonna get in trouble legally.
And this in turn is Keon's response.
So to those who may be concerned, and there's quite a few of y'all, I got a little statement to make out of love, though. You feel me? First off, God bless y'all. Second, why are y'all hating and are like livid because I heard a secular song and I liked the beat, so I flipped it, remade it. Yes, I took the beat and remade it and said produced by me, because I did produce the beat, I made it, and I turned it Christian. Why are y'all mad? Like, y'all are actually offended. Like, I was letting it go by for a little bit because I ain't, I still don't care. But it's like, it's a lot of y'all, and it's like now y'all are like taking it. Y'all are letting it affect y'all lives, and y'all are taking my video and posting on y'all story and saying stuff about it. Thank y'all for helping me share it, but it's just like, why are y'all actually hurt about it? Like, we just spreading the love of God. That's it. I remade a beat, cool. I said produced by me because it is. I remade the beat, so therefore I produced it. I never said Ian's beat it wasn't Ian's beat. I never said it's not his beat. I just produced that one. Why y'all so hurt? God bless y'all though.
And then out of response to that, even more responses are pushed back. And basically it kind of set off this unavoidable like train path to where everybody and their mama is commenting about it. Allegedly, I don't believe this happened, but if it did, then we'll never know. To the point where it was like there were some like serious like phone call conversations had behind the scenes in which things got fairly heated. That took place, allegedly. I'm not gonna go out of my way to like prove that, but this is what's being told to me. And it's like, to get to my main point, man, it's like I hate having these conversations about this specific topic and issue because just of how toxic things really can get. I don't know if this is a conversation you would literally have to have face to face at the table, where everyone's literally gathered around and it's like a judge and jury in court or whatever it is, like a round table, right? I don't know if for CHH, in order to get it past that, it would have to like go that far realistically. But this is definitely a conversation that has definitely, I want to say, hurt a lot of people, whether if it's from what artists have told me or even seeing like certain content creators in the past definitely get like burned and hurt from these conversations with just how like messy it really can get. It really does get messy, and I really hate to have these types of conversations, especially because one of the biggest things I saw was it was almost like this was literally straight out war. Like it was literally nothing but us versus them kind of like type of like scenario mentality. You had people rallying and like siding between who they were going against. It was literally like a pick and choose type of situation. And then on top of that, I definitely want to bring it up. It was almost as if, because especially, I don't know if I mentioned this, guys, but Keon I think he did like a turnaround 24-hour response and dropped like a music video to like all the responses. He did a turnaround and responded to like every artist, content creator, whoever was involved with it, and the editor, whoever made that music video. Shout out to him, because I'm not gonna lie, he makes some cool music videos, but we threw in proper Excel in there, right? And it kind of, I guess, because them and other people were talking about it, and essentially it's like people under the proper Excel comment section calling Keon out. And then with Keon, he had his own collab post to kind of like counteract that whole narrative and conversation, from his own ends and his own, perspective. And it's like, for myself, honestly, I do have my own opinion about it, but it's like in the weight and midst of all of this, I mean, everything's kind of like dying down now, because it really passed over the weekend. I think the biggest thing I've learned in despite having my own opinion about it, it really doesn't matter like who you really side with, honestly. One artist that I really, I mentioned him earlier, I really don't want to use him as an example, because I really think he did grow and evolve beyond this situation. And he truly came out just honest about it, was Caleb Gordon and just that whole copyright strike situation. Just because that narrative and conversation from people spurred up and just followed him for a while. But the end outcome, and this isn't about, who's right or who's wrong. I just don't think it's like the time and place for that. The end outcome was that it resulted in a healthy ending in which, things were able to progress in a healthy manner. And, like in this case where it's kind of like we basically went back to, square one. What do you do in, this case, and what do you do in this instance? I think ultimately what you have to realize, the biggest thing I want people to get out of this conversation is like, I think you have to approach it kind of like, you would argue with your girl, boyfriend, wife, husband, your best friend, your siblings, any type of relationship you may be in. I think it's kind of like, you kind of have to treat these conversations kind of like that, in the sense of like, in part, it's really not about who's right or who's in the wrong. And don't get me wrong, those things do have their place in time, because there's a time and place for everything. But maintaining and like handling relationships with people in the moment, it's really about reconciliation, or more so just maintaining like a healthy environment, and really like dealing and moving and proceeding things out of love, like in love, in character. You know, however you may feel about a certain artist or what they do, or you yourself as an artist, however you may feel about what people are saying, my mind kind of wants to drift over into that one verse in Proverbs. Give me a second. A soft answer turns away wrath. Proverbs 15:1. Gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. I just think it's one of those dealings and conversations where it's literally, as things get in the heat of the moment, sometimes it's best to kind of like back off, redirect, and kind of just, I don't know, steer things in a healthy conversation. Because I think that ultimately that should be the end outcome. And I mean, if things just blow up, if this conversation just completely blows up and it is what it is, and harsh things do have to be said, then it is what it is, right? But ultimately, I think in doing things out of love, you know, people won't be hurt, just because, like I've said, I've seen way too many people being hurt from this, whether it's like content creators I know of personally in the past, you know, little stories here and there from artists, or just other situations. It is definitely not easy. But I'm losing like my train of thought right now, guys, so I think that's gonna be it. I really do want to inject my own opinion to this topic and conversation, and kind of just like really want to just argue and debate my way through this. But honestly, I think it's now's not the time for that. This conversation just doesn't need that at all. But you guys let me know what you think. I was actually in the midst of releasing a quick video talking about, you know, the whole Zanti situation with Atlantic, and I mean, I was gonna do that really, but yeah, that's it for me, guys. Hopefully you guys can move and learn something from this in the future case this happens again. And you know, if you guys want to comment what you feel like, however you may feel, just as long as it's, you know, respectful, let me know what you guys think about it. Take care, guys, and we will see you next video.